One. Okay, welcome everyone. This is Lou Martin. The sun is shining here in West Cork, Ireland. Another miracle. My new friend Fran and I are color coordinated. The signs are all good.
Yeah.
And so here is lovely Fran Bailey, who's going to introduce herself and her great work. Welcome, Fran.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. So I grew up in a metaphysical home as a Christian Scientist and believed that, mind over matter. And
Yes.
it was a
You,
amazing
you
way
got
to
a head start. You
Yeah,
got a head start with
we
that,
did.
didn't you?
Yeah, we did. And, we weren't devout, but the concept was really there. And my mother and father were, he was Episcopal, but he understood the philosophy, and she was amazing. Mary Baker Eddy, who started the religion, and
Yes.
basically channeled Jesus to heal herself, and that's how it all started. But her writing is beautiful, and I always
Yes.
connected to her. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
no, that's a very, very metaphysical place to start your journey in this lifetime.
yeah, it was. And so I also grew up with lots of music and dance. My dad sang and my mom danced. And so I was
Wonderful.
always dancing all the time. And, reaching the ballet bar at age 4 in a barn, it was
Wow.
just hooked. So the
Right.
music and dance and energy and how that all happened and how the body works and how you can express yourself through emotions. And it was just a perfect fit. So I went on and,
That's
yeah. And
yeah.
went
It
on.
sounds great, man. It sounds like you had a lot of freedom as a child, really, from what you
Yes.
described.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And so it was always dance and always sort of this um, trying to understand life and how we fit in and how we work together and, how does love present itself. And so I went to a Christian Science camp, and during that period, I had a near-death experience.
Wow.
Canoe, and my ankle got caught and I went under, and kind of a long story short, it was humorous at the time, but then again I saw, I went through the tunnel and saw everybody,
How
and
old
then
are you?
12.
Okay. Boy,
And
you were not wasting any time, Fran.
oh no, we're clipping along. We are clipping along. Jeez. I mean,
Wonderful.
really?
Wow.
So, I felt my body kind of jump back in my body. So you're not ready.
Okay.
And so it was
Did you have the experience of being with your guides or talking to anyone or being asked to go back, or how
Yeah, I
did
was
you?
definitely asked to go back. And when I was
Okay.
there, I would see these, it's like what happens, your life kind of flashes right in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people who are gone or people who are part of your life are all there. It's sort of like this
Right.
big scene. And
Sure.
then there's this big voice that says, you're not ready. And so it's like you're pulled back into your body, and then there's a jolt.
Yes. Nobody wants to leave heaven, do they, dear?
No,
Nobody.
no,
No,
it
everyone
really,
wants to stay.
it was the light, all that beautiful.
Right. Right. Wow.
So what's interesting is I repeat this story, a memory comes back of it. I wasn't crying because I was alive. I was crying because I had an amazing experience. I knew it was a
Sure.
spiritual,
Yes. I can
awakening.
imagine at 12. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, from there, I went on and danced and got my BFA in dance, and
Okay.
was.
1 second. This is too juicy. Don't rush past all this lovely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. So you came back at 12 from your near-death experience. You're crying from the overwhelm of what had happened to you, the love, the healing, the light, that you're not alone, all of that. Did you then have a sense of connection with spirit and your guides from that point on, or did you leave it behind because of the world? How did that happen?
No, I didn't leave it behind, but there were
Okay.
incidents that would happen, like things would come to me. I would see things. I would have these guys, even as a child. I was like really young.
Right.
And even before this near-death experience. So I
Okay.
remember I remember, I'd have these guides and I'd talk to them all and I'd talk to the statues outside. And I thought, well, it does, right? But
No, sadly, bless you.
here I am. I remember this particular time. It was in the living room and it was very early in the morning because I always get up early and, with the doves, and I was always up,
Wow.
So I'm in the living room and there's a big table and I'm sitting there and there's a little world and I'm holding the world and, I got the whole world in my hands. So I was singing.
Okay.
This is like I was 8 or something. So I was really young, but I could feel something, a connection of like, oh, I'm supposed to be part of this. And of course I grew young and I wouldn't know, but at that moment something happened. And so all these things would start coming up and dreams would come and things would come true. And,
Wow.
Knew.
So you were conscious of spirit from about the age of 8 onwards. Amazing. Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very young. So, as life goes on and life happens and these incidences kept coming up. When I was 19, I was living in the Haight.
Yes. San Francisco, for people that don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So during the 60s, I mean,
Yeah. When I was dancing, I said, I don't want to, I dropped out of school and went and trained with Anna Halprin and these wonderful artists and had 2 jobs. But the spiritual thing kept coming towards me and I kind of resisted it because it was just
so weird.
Yeah. So much came in so fast and I wasn't ready. And so I went back and finished my degree in dance and but knew that there was some other thing that I so I went to got my BFA in dance and education and went into choreography and for years. And then
sorry, 1 second, hon. You're just fascinating. So forgive me for interrupting you. So spirit is like saying, Hey, Fran, you're here for this spiritual thing. You're like, yeah. I'm gonna go dancing and go on a date and have a degree, and I'll talk to you later. That's what you're describing, right? You're like putting it on hold for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also think that art and healing and choreography and moving into those realms of, and I studied a lot of Western religion, lots of at the same time. So and when you're creative and you're into that creative place, there is this spiritual connection because you find that wonderful jewel of creation. And I think that was part of the whole artistic expression, is that it comes from another place.
Yeah, especially something as intimate as dance.
Which
is just like always inside out, constantly.
Right.
Wow.
So I always wanted the audience to feel what I feel. And that was sort of the impetus of part of the process of the method that I'm like trying to pull in, that we can all do this and experience it.
Yes.
So it stems from the spiritual side, the artistic side, and all these other trainings that I did. So
great.
I was teaching in a Montessori school, all the children, and I would always have the parents come and take a class with the kids because I thought I wanted them to feel what it was like.
Great.
And one of the parents, who was a MD, was opening an alternative center in Cincinnati, and he's from South Africa, and he said, "Franny," and I said, "What?" He said, "You see energy." I went, "Really?" And that's when all the energy stuff started. So I trained with a woman out of his trainer, Rosenbrier, out of LA.
Yeah, I know. I'm from LA. I know that name. Sure.
Yeah. She's a medical intuitive, and I met her and
Rosalind Bruyere. Yeah.
I
Big
went,
deal.
oh, they found me.
Very good. Well,
That's what I said. They found me.
you weren't hiding too hard, sweetheart. Bless
No,
you.
no, it's just like
Well,
so.
can you tell people what a Montessori school is if they don't know?
A Montessori school is it was designed by a woman. She just felt that children didn't need to be pushed; they needed to be let their creation sort of unfold, and really, they use the old-fashioned beads for math, and
Right. Very intuitive, very
very, very
spiritually
good, very
nurturing.
connected. And my kids
Yeah.
went there, and so I taught there.
Right. Right. Yeah. My ex was in a Steiner school in Austria,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
similar.
Uh-huh.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so you started studying energy work, and that started to move you outside of just teaching and dance.
Yeah, so I worked for this alternative center for 12 years as an energy healer. So I would work with MDs, acupuncturists. I would be the energy person, and then there would be a
Wow.
chiropractor.
Right.
So
Right.
I learned a lot about the body. I learned a lot about how I
Right.
navigate my energy through my hands, just like my feet.
Right.
So
Right.
I just would bring it into my hands and heal people.
Right. Right. Can you say a little bit about Rosalind Bruyere? That's not a name that comes up every day.
She is she's
so,
she's part Indian. Her mother was
okay.
Indian.
Okay.
American Indian. And
right.
she just had a gift and didn't really realize it, but she just started healing people. And she's been tested many times as a medical intuitive. And her system, I would say, is pretty brilliant. She works with the chakra system and, all the meridians, and it's called a chelation. And of course, I use a variation of that, but it's running energy through the body, through your hands, and connecting all the lines, meridians, chakras, to the body balance. And then, of course, if there's cancer, then you go in and you don't explode the cell, you go into the center and explode it, but keep it encapsulated.
Okay.
So the cancer doesn't spread. So these are heart patients, cancer patients, a lot of, traumatic things that happen to people, that the energy does help a lot.
Sure. I know you're going to be very shy, but can I ask what is your percentage of healing and success of the people you work with? I looked at your website and all the glowing testimonials, including Kathy Mason and David Maria, who are both friends of ours. And I know you're doing amazing work. Would you like to toot your own horn in that regard for a little bit?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm prety good.
Exactly.
So, and of course, it takes years to increase that skill. And as I said to Kathy, the skill is what you do. The energy in which, how it comes in, whether you're channeling it, is another. Number two, you have to stay present and grounded when you're healing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've healed a lot of cancer patients, my own self, actually. I had cancer.
Great.
So
heart what was that journey like for you, hon? What was
my dad
being the patient?
Yeah, it was interesting. It really was the impetus of the method. My father died of cancer in 1994.
Okay.
And then about a year and a half later, I got cancer.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was certainly evident of how our body reacts to stress. And I'm a full believer in that. And I think that I think that's because of my success of healing and knowing that the body can do its own work, that's why you can do this. This is a method for you. We're going to do this together, but I have confidence in that patient or person that we're going to find a way that's working for you.
Great.
So that's the gift, but it's it's how you navigate, and I'm just there to boot that up.
Sure, hon. So, like, you're sharing, bless you, the loss of your father, and then, the grief of that, and not maybe feeling supported or, safe to
Oh yeah,
release and express
my
that.
whole second chakra, I had stage 4 cervical cancer. I'm just like,
God love you. Yeah. Bless you.
and so I went, okay, and
Yeah. Now it's interesting.
it would be
Yes.
interesting. So I had a male. This is interesting. I had a male
Yeah.
doctor,
Okay.
and he said, "Oh, well, good news, bad news. You've got stage 4, and it didn't spread. And I think you need to take everything out. And by the way, get a lift because you had twins." And I went, really? Hmm. So I found someone else, and I
Yes.
found a female, and I said, I don't think I need to take everything out. I am not doing that because I think I
Yeah.
can work with this. So she said, no, you
Yes.
don't take anything out. You have to come.
Yes. Thank God.
You have to come every 3 months for a while and just make sure that everything is okay. And
Okay.
but in the meantime, I was running energy in that area, shrinking the cells, and
Sure. Sure.
just saying, allowing my body to do the work.
Sure. Nurturing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. So I think that that's part of my success, is that I believe that this instrument that we live in is incredible.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
think, the physics, whatever you want to call it, I think that we combine the spiritual, the mental, the physical, and emotional processes. And I think that if we come together, we can find those blips, and it's a blip, and then go on.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Fran, this is a joy. Let me tell you, I'm just my mind is reeling over here. Um, I mean, hon, you've like, so my story, very briefly, just to share with you, I was trotting along in my life, and then working in a spiritual bookstore at 30 years of age, during the harmonic convergence in '87, and I was given a piece of quartz crystal by a friend. And he said, there's this thing in the base of your spine called Kundalini energy. And if you meditate with the quartz crystal, it might open up. And the first time I did that, it happened. And I was in an altered, I had the bolt of lightning up the spine and all of that. And I was in an altered state for a week. And then this was before or after the harmonic convergence. And I went, I think this is real. And I think this is what I've been waiting for and looking for my whole life. So that was my before and after moment. Yeah. That was exciting.
Yeah.
And then I've studied with different channels. I'm a channel, and was at the Agape Church with Michael Beckwith for years, with his wisdom and love and all that. So yeah, it was a great time. But there are so many. I mean, LA,
Yeah.
is a feast for spiritual people at that time.
Right.
It's a great resource. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm curious. You also talk about the Enneagram, which is something I don't know much about. Can you share a little bit about how you got into that and how you use that in your
Yes.
sessions?
Yes. I think but I'm going to roll back with the Kundalini. So I've been studying
Sure.
through
Sure. Please take wherever you like.
really deep meditation with John Friedlander and Gloria Henscher, who are, they did through the chakra system, and Babaji is one of my guides. And so it's all the Hindu stuff, but that intensity increased the ability, because then I knew how to ground and be present as a healer.
Right.
Really.
We were just talking about Babaji in a group last night for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Synchronistic. Yeah.
So, I mean, also Jane Roberts and Seth. And so this is a combination. They're fabulous teachers. And
Sure.
So to finish the sort of the Shiva, SHEV, Seeking Harmony and Energy, Voice, and Action was channeled to me in 2002.
Seeking harmony, energy, voice, and action.
In
Okay.
Energy, Voice, and Action. And I was
Thank
like, okay, what am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
So that was the method that was beginning then. And so it was a body work, meditation, the energy, and then the Enneagram was the clincher. So the Enneagram is a study of personalities. He's this man named Gurdjieff from Russia, I think. And,
yes. Meetings with Remarkable Men. I know Gurdjieff.
Yeah.
An amazing teacher. Yeah.
So there was, we all have our personality, we all have resistance, and we all have things that happen to our lives. And I said, this is what I need to find out about. Where are my little loopholes?
Sure.
So how do I prepare and know that, okay, if I know my loopholes and I'm the guinea pig, then I can kind of help others, right?
It takes one to know one, as we say.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was a 2-year experience. It was hard. It was good. It was very interesting. But again, it was just that extension of all the other things. And so
Sure.
It was like, okay, there's my personality. Whoops, there I go again,
Yes.
And so that was the clincher. And that kind of is the full circle of accessing all parts of you.
Right. It's sort of it's a wonder. A friend of mine, John Cully, has talked about it for years, and I've heard other friends recommend it as well. I mean, I study astrology. I work with the tarot. Carl Jung and his archetypes.
Carl Jung.
Yeah. These are the greats. Absolutely. And I did a lot of work with Lazarus, which I don't know if you know that name, but I did many workshops in LA with Lazarus over the years as well, and other wonderful teachers there. Oren, also online, Oren and Daben from Sanaya Roman and Packer, amazing channels. But yeah, I mean, we're all basically covering a similar territory, because this is what humanity needs, to heal our character defects, and our shadow and our wounded inner child and the negative ego, all those lovely things that we've given our power to, and learn how to forgive. The Course in Miracles has been another great resource.
Yeah.
So these things help us come back to opening our hearts to God.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
I mean, how lucky are we?
Yes, how lucky are we? I agree, sweetheart. Bless you. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to say, Fran, we know what's happening, we know what to do about it, and we know we have help. That's better than most people walking the planet at the moment for one reason or another.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, really fascinated with your connection with spirit. That you were so aware and so receptive, at such a young age. I mean, that tells me, you hit the ground running, as I said, and I want to ask you, my friend, what's your sense of this time that we're living in right now? If you want to talk a little bit about where we're at. I think a softball for you.
Wow. That's a big one. I'm very positive. I think that the more that we unfold, and that's every day, to this new energy, the more we can help others. And I think in a way that, not necessarily judging where other people are. I mean, we'd have to judge to a certain point, but if we keep ourselves open to the experience, and I'm talking about the experience on all levels, and don't shut those doors, we're in heaven if this can continue.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's a very tenuous, very unusual time that we have to be presented with all these different things, but that's where we're learning the skill. That's where we're learning how to navigate. And the more we discard, I think the more that we are present to the Lord.
I agree.
Yeah.
Have you or your guides come across any information in terms of like Atlantis and Lemuria or past lives? Any of these Egypt? Has that come up for you in your journey? Well, now
Well,
we've got you. I can see the look on your face. Here we go now. Okay,
well,
we found it.
I've had all these past lives. They, as
Yeah.
one of my healers, she said, "You are as old as dirt." I mean, I've been around. So
Well,
lots
that's
of,
probably a nicer way to say that, but
yeah,
okay.
I know. So there's lots
You've been
of
around the block.
visions I've had when I was a healer in many different cultures, and so I think that the people that are very conscious and connected now were healers at another time, and I think that it's coming to all together. It's coming for all of us. I really believe that we're all just one, and we're just making this. It's like we're all in alignment with our chakras, and we're all part of the whole energy around us, and that energy with all of those healers are coming together. I mean, I was in the meditation. I usually meditate in the like 5:30 in the morning, and I'll get a channel of how to do the body work, or I'll get a channel about someone how to heal them, or they come in my dream. I say, "Call me. I don't want you in my dreams anymore." So I just lost my train of thought. Anyway,
well, you reminded me. Sorry, Fran, just really quickly. I mean, that's the joke. If the psychic was any good, they would call you and tell you need a session. You've just basically set that up. Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, it's crazy sometimes, but
I hear you.
It's just the access to these dimensions. Oh, I know. I was at the 10th plane, and I'm going to all the planes above.
Right.
And I went in the 10th plane, and it just completely opened up. And I went, okay, are we coming from that level? I mean, it was just amazing.
Beautiful.
So I think that we are definitely accessing all those different levels, and we're bringing them into current time.
Yes, sure. Do you know the name Patricia Coda-Robles?
No.
Oh, well, I have a little surprise for you, my dear. Yes. She's been one of my teachers for the last 7 or 8 years, and she does a video every week, and I'll send you a link for her. Yeah, she's extraordinary. What's reminded me is another teacher that I work with who also works with Patricia is a woman named Addie Lamborn, who also does classes online for free from time to time, and I can connect you as well if you like. But what Addie said is Addie's traveling out of the body all the time, and she's been doing that since she was 4 years old. Maybe you can relate to this. And so she says, any dimension I go to, Patricia is there. She's already there. And Patricia's very humble and very heart-centered and she's earned my trust, over and over again. She's been a wonderful guide about all this. But what I want to come to is the idea of shifting from the third to the fifth dimension, and also all the solar suns beyond suns, Patricia calls it, all the energy coming in through the sun. Do you have any thoughts about either of those topics? You don't have to, but I'm just giving you all my questions.
So when you ask me those questions, when I open up, it just comes. It comes. Or if I go to the 25th level or whatever, but it's just. So my connection to the body and my understanding of the body and the purpose why I'm here is to manifest those planes in the body, meaning that It's not outside of us, it's part of us. And so how do we act? We don't have to actually identify every little thing, but
Okay.
what needs to happen is that the shedding, the regenerating, the recycling, and the rebooting are all at the same time.
Okay. Interesting words. Yeah. 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 So we're the caterpillar. We're
Yeah.
shedding
Yes. We are
becoming the
shedding,
butterfly.
and the more we shed, the more we have access to these levels.
Right.
And the other thing is, just like an Enneagram, we learn about systems. But again, you don't want to attach yourself to the type you are. And so I think that the speed in which the energy is shifting so fast, it's even hard to even know we're doing, or what's coming in. It's almost like it doesn't even matter because it's the energy that it's palpable. And that's what you are doing, what I'm doing, what all are doing to permeate.
Right. To ground is the phrase people use a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, the work I do a lot of definitely grounding.
Right. Beautiful.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Grounding.
Well, yeah. So are you also traveling out of body a lot yourself? Is that something you do? I don't do it at all, so I'm curious. That I'm aware of.
Well, again, I think. All right, I'll give you an example. I was working with Rosalind, or I was in a deep meditation and getting trained with her and doing all this meditation. I'd have these visions, incredible visions, and one of these visions, I had a couple with her. We were flying, and we were flying with Kuan Yin, who is these are her hands.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, jade.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm a big Kuan Yin fan.
Yeah. And so I was with them, and the three of us were together flying. For the two, I was just Kuan Yin and me. I don't know how it happened, but anyway, I was in Vietnam, and there was a painting, and the painting was Kuan Yin and this other woman in flying, and it was like the same dream. So call it quantum physics, call it some sort of revelation, but that energy is impact. It comes in.
Right.
And so I don't know if I go out as much as I maybe go out and stay in so that I can physically feel the shift.
Right. Well, thank you for that. I mean, I did watch a little of your dancing. You're a beautiful dancer, and you're so welcome, hon. So I'm just trying to connect with what you're saying here about, how conscious you've been your whole life of your spiritual missions, to say, and how connected energetically, you are to the earth and to your body and to spirit and to, all these different energies and dimensions. And, that, it's like you've ticked every box. This is kind of how I feel as well, Fran, honestly. I've done every class now, I'm ready to go.
I can't do anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, or you don't want to, or you're ready for what you've been preparing for. I have. I mean, it's really divine timing that we're chatting here today, and I've been in David Maria's class for the last year, and that's been a huge gift to me. And Kathy has been a lovely friend and a great support, and I want to support her work as well. So she's connected the two of us here. So yeah, I just very much have this sense that we're entering uncharted, territory, uncharted waters, and it's such an important time to really consciously build a sense of community, of who who is prepared for what's coming, and can we love and support each other and help each other.
Right, right. Yes. And I think that, the method is very easy to adapt to. It's just very usable. And I think that because I'm so physically aware, that I can teach people how to ground and clear the energy. And that's what I do through the meditation, through the body work, and, um, you know, getting people to understand their own energy and what's happening to them. And even the healers, we as empaths, we have to be aware of what we're connecting to, and where does that energy cling to, and make sure that it's not yours. If it's not yours, send it back to them,
Sure.
or
Sure.
that kind of stuff. So it's very very easy to use.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're giving people, a roadmap.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I see that. Um, yeah, and people are going to need a roadmap.
Right.
If
Right.
they haven't figured that out yet, at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know. I said this to somebody. I don't know who it is, but as observers, this is what the method's about. Is about observing yourself, observing your body, observing what you're doing. So if you go into Whole Foods, you don't have Whole Foods there probably, but that's like a grocery store.
I can relate. It's all right. Yes, I can manage. Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When you go into a store like that, tell me what happens when you see someone's energy that you kind of get a quick analysis of, or you can tell they're in a whatever. I mean, do you acknowledge that, or I'm sure you do?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's why I moved from Los Angeles after 30 years to a little village in Ireland. Frankly, it's like, I would get anxiety attacks sometimes when I would be going into cities, if I'd come from the country or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I think you and I and anyone that's been on the path for a while, has really, like we're saying, been blessed with a lot of initiations and activations and clearings and cleanings. And I'm like you, I'm meditating and praying every day. I mean, that's just part of life. And I invite people to learn about that and see how powerful that can be. So does that answer your question? I mean, I'm aware of people's energies and my own reaction to it. I try to be very, like I'm sure you do, discerning, and sending love, sending peace, forgiving.
Right.
It's just like putting on your pants and brushing your teeth. It's what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I think that acknowledging or allowing people to know that sometimes their reaction to what they think is happening in their life may be a reaction from some energy from somewhere else. It's like,
sure, we tend to react rather than respond.
And then we pull it into our life, and it's really not us. It's something that we're responding to. And I think that the quickness of this energy coming in, that's what's bombarding people.
Sure, hon. Sure. Well, I mean, Fran, that's beautifully said. I agree. I'm striving to work, more consciously with the heart, with the power of love. I'm in like 4 or 5 different groups every week, aside from doing my own stuff. Yeah. And it just, it helps me to stay connected. And, again, I'm saying, we're going over Niagara Falls in a barrel at some point in the near future. I don't think there's doubt, right? So, I'm just looking for who wants to hold my hand. And, thank you, dear. Thank you. Likewise. Thank you, sweetheart. Bless you. I'm grateful. So, yeah, just that we're all doing some similar journey. And my passion about interviewing people like yourself here, is so that people can see that, we don't have two heads. It's not crazy, strange, weird, or be self-conscious. And that this is, as we're saying, this is what's available to everyone.
Yes.
It's just, we need to, get into that place, please God, of surrender and trust, and love, joy, appreciation, the good vibes, and then we can be a source for good in our lives, and stay out of the dramas.
Right. Well said.
Thank you. I get a lot of help. Is my secret here. Yeah, fantastic. Gurdjieff, and what I love is how much you've really balanced your skills and your abilities, on your journey, and how,
Thank you.
some people, they have an awakening and they're just, working with spirit, from that point forward. But you've integrated all these different aspects of spiritual growth, and different gifts that you are able to be of service to people with, which is, really inspiring, really exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, I said, well, I'm going to be the guinea pig, and I better walk the talk, or whatever it is.
Walk the
And
talk, yes.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like, okay, well, if I can't do it, then why am I speaking, or why am I doing I have to do the work so that I know the outcome. And so therefore I can teach or shares what that person can do for themselves. So that to me is a win.
Yeah. So, are you doing classes online with people, or do you like to work in person? What's your sense?
I do. So the system is kind of like if somebody wants to do some kind of big work, I'll do like 3 sessions, and it's just like this big package. And we usually get a lot done very, very quickly. And then we'll do like a tune-up. I've done
is that Zoom or in person?
Zoom or in person. Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Depending on what they need.
Sure.
I'm doing one-on-one. I'm doing the body work is for sale, the meditations for sale, but there's a free meditation on the bottom of my website. If somebody wants to take that.
I did listen to that. It was very good.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, I got on your email list. Yes.
So it's I'm not an artist, but I channeled doing these mandalas for each chakra. And
don't say you're not an artist then, sweetheart. They
said I'm going to be drawing, and so I've started drawing, and
so you're an artist.
The energy is put into each chakra, and so for the healer, this is really for the healer who's working on a table. I place them on the table, or if someone's in my home, and I say, "What are you drawn to?" I don't have them with me, but I would show you. But they're pretty cool. So and then I've written a book, Any Emergence.
Oh wow, beautiful! Yes.
Yeah, all kinds of colors.
Reveal your essence. Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
It's really
that's beautifully done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice.
Okay.
So it's about energy. The first exercise is to hold the book and put your energy in it, and then open a page. And
Great. I love that. Sure. Yeah. No, that's wonderful. And so is it, is the book a series of exercises, or is it your story, or a bit of both? Or?
It's basically just studying each chakra and what the purpose of each chakra is, or center. And then there's a meditation in the end. And it's very basic, and I'm actually selling them through my house. And so, signed.
Great.
So
great. Lovely. It looks beautifully done.
Thank you.
Very rich visually. Yes. But so if you're making mandalas now, you have to acknowledge that actually you are an artist, and it's not the end of the world, is it? Okay. What are friends for? Push you a little, Fran,
Right, I know. And the biggest thing when I was doing this, my dog, I had a standard poodle, this kind of wild-haired
Yes,
standard.
I've seen the picture. Is
Yeah,
she or he not with us, or?
he's not. He's not with
Oh, I'm
us.
sorry.
Yeah. So,
What was his name? What was his name?
Jude. Hey, Jude.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
he was
I've
really
heard of
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Very good. You're a Beatles fan. Wonderful.
Yeah. So
Yeah, me too.
he would come into the room if I'm healing somebody. He would come in and lay in, or on my meditation classes, he would be right there. And so while I was making these, they would be on the studio floor, and I'm always on the floor, And
Okay.
he would lay on them,
Wow.
and I went,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they don't see
Yeah.
color, they feel energy.
Sure. I have a friend here who does museum quality mandala artwork every day of her life. I'll send you her link. Her name is Patricia Fitzgerald. She's incredibly gifted.
Awesome.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, you're working the magic out there. Is there anything else you'd like to chat about or share with us as we come down the home stretch? This has been a joy.
Well, I think that we're living in incredible times. I think that we have to remember to love, but also laugh at ourselves. We have to
Very
keep.
important.
I mean, it's so important, and I think the humor, like, okay, let's just go with it. So you have this blip. Let's just go. Just keep going. But that humor is so important.
Yes, I absolutely agree. God has a brilliant sense of humor. That's why.
Yeah.
And can I share this with you since you're bringing this up? I mean, my quote, this is my own as well, is without a sense of humor, it's just not funny.
Right.
There you go. And the thing is, when people laugh, it's that joyous release of pretending to believe something that's not true and recognizing that what is true is much easier and simpler and freer than what we're holding on to. It's that explosion of freedom. So yes, I'm with you on that.
Cool.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, Fran, thank you so much for spending some time with me. It's been a pleasure getting to hang out with you, and I hope we'll do this again sometime.
Thank you, Lou, so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, dear. All right, and so we're going to send people to your website, and I'll put the links and all that on the post here with that. What's your website?
FranBaileyHealer.com.
Exactly. Well, that lays all the cards on the table, doesn't it? That breaks the ice quite nicely. Yes. Good. You introduce yourself, Fran Bailey Healer. Nice to meet you. Yes. Gets things moving very quickly. Beautiful.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too. Thanks a million. I'm so grateful to hang out with you and spend this time and get to learn about the great work that you're doing. And so you're based in Cincinnati now?
Based in Cincinnati, and then I go to South Carolina, so I'm in South Carolina now, and I could do work here, so I kind of go back and forth, and so it's a nice gig.
Where do you like to go to in South Carolina?
It's called Kiowa Island, outside of Charleston.
I knew it was somewhere special. They were giving me a little nudge there. Ask her about this. Okay.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's very creative, and there's so many birds, and it's just lovely. So I'm very lucky.
Fantastic. Well, until we meet again, my friend. Thank you so much. Enjoy your journey. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Lou. Take care.
Okay, you too. Peace and blessings.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Bye.